Just because I love you, it don't mean I trust you. Everybody not to be trusted. Everybody around me thugging. Everybody around me drugging. Everybody around me hustling. Everybody know not to bring no new rigging around me. They say I be bugging. Got racks in the go-yard luggage. Just because I love you, it don't mean I trust you. Everybody not to be trusted.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. I am your host, Quentin Flores. This is Uncut with Q. Guys, in this show, we talk about all things business, entrepreneurship, overcoming hardships. And yeah, man, we've been doing this for a while now. I think they're on episode like 50-something. This is great. 60-something?
60, that's crazy.
I'm not even counting them anymore. But guys, if this is your first time listening, it's very simple, man. We got a fee for the show. If you like what you hear, I'll ask that you share the crap out of it. We have multiple different segments. We have a Q&A episode. We have a Surfing the Internet episode where we go and we look at trending topics and me and my friend Trey talk shit about it. I bring on amazing guests. We have Real Talk where I come in here and I say some real ass shit that's from my heart. And, we have about 5-6 different shows. You guys, I would recommend that y'all go on to wherever you're listening to this from and just look at what we're offering and take a look at every single episode, because I promise you there's something there that's going to help you gain perspective. All right. But again, if you're getting value from this, share the fucking show. That's all I ask. Guys, I'm excited, man. Today, I have a really good friend of mine that just flew in. Tell everybody where you're from and who you are, brother.
My name is Pablo Chinchilla, and I'm coming from the Texarkana area, East Texas.
I love it, bro.
East Texas, yes, sir.
So this is a good friend of mine, man. I've had the opportunity of mentoring him personally, and to be honest, bro, this guy just took off like a rocket. I mean, he went and learned so many things that were outside the spectrum of what I coached him to do. But you know what? Sometimes you just need that push. And yes. I guess today's call, man, what I'd like for this segment to be about, you know what I'm saying? One, I want to emphasize who you are and your presence and what you're doing and everything too. But also I want to talk about the value of getting a coach, because, bro,
100%.
I was not coachable for years. Like, even when I was coaching you, I was not coachable. How crazy is that? Yes. I'm coaching somebody and I'm not coachable.
100%.
And, I had a chip on my shoulder mentality, because I just didn't want to give my money to some guy standing in front of a Lamborghini trying to sell me on some crazy Forex automation bullshit. And I just really didn't know exactly what it was that I just didn't like people like that, And it's not that I didn't like him. It was more or less like I just had a lot of pride.
Yes.
That's what it was. I was very prideful. I didn't want somebody waving me around on stage and saying, I made this guy successful.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But it actually took me a long time to humble myself and pay for mentorship. And when I did, I totally have no problem now telling everybody that this was the guy that changed my fucking life. Because sometimes, man, we'll be sitting in the dark for such a long time. It just takes one badass motherfucker with a candle to come and show us the way.
That's right. That's right.
And so, bro, first and foremost, man, what exactly is it that you do right now in your current business?
Well, like I said, my name is Pablo. I'm from Costa Rica, by the way. So if you hear an accent, that's why. I came to America 15 years ago.
What?
And we got in the real estate game about 5 years ago. I did some mentorship with Q, and it really changed the way I was doing things. And right now I have two great partners, Austin and Greg, and we flip houses in East Texas. We flip houses and we buy rentals, and our business just took off. And we have an amazing team, and we're just growing, man, doing a lot of things.
I love it, bro. First off, I guess first and foremost, man, how did you even get into the real estate business?
Well, it's funny. So when I came to the States, you got to get a job, right? So if you're immigrant, if you had to deal with the whole thing, getting your green card, I know your pain. So when me and my wife got married in 2008, I had to wait 6 months before I got my driver's license.
Wow.
So, not only I just got married to this beautiful girl, and the government is saying you can't work, you don't have a driver's license. So my first job is I had a bike, and I worked for a guy that worked in shoes, like a shoe repair guy. And I basically just cleaned the shoes and kind of helping on that. So I work in a shoe repair place. That was my first job. And then from there, when I got my driver's license, I told my wife, now I'm going to get a job. And I applied to be a DirecTV and Dish Network technician. So I learned the business, how to install satellite TV and all this stuff.
Were you the sales guy or the installer?
I was a technician first.
Ah, I see, technician.
So I started installing TV, And then 3 or 4 years down the road, I found out that the salespeople were making more than a technician. So I applied to get a DirecTV dealer commercial account. So I became a dealer. So I started selling and installing. So I went door to door to sell DirecTV, and I would make more money on the sale, but I would still do the sale and the installation. So I was making good money. But again, it's if your business require you to be 24/7, it's not a business, it's a job. So I was a salesman, I was a technician. I didn't like that. So I hired a couple salesmen, but it requires a lot of my time. And one day someone told me about the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And man, that's the day I told my wife, I'm a self-employee. I'm going to continue doing this, but I'm going to get into the real estate. And there was a guy selling 8 apartments in Dangerfield, Texas. And he came, I told the guy, I knew he had the property, and I said, man, I want to buy this 8-plex. So at this point, I don't have rentals. I never done a deal. And I said, I want to buy those apartments from you. And he said, okay, this is the price. I didn't have the money for the down payment. So I got all my money from my credit cards.
Wow.
And then that was my down payment, went to the title company and closed. So a lot of people start with one house. I started with 8 units at once.
Oh my God.
So I was doing DirecTV. I was the landlord. I was the maintenance guy. And basically from that one, I learned, okay, now I'm going to refi, got my money out. And in the first 12 months, I had 16 units. I bought another 8-plex.
Wow.
And then I'm still learning. And then right after that, that's when I came to you, because I was like, I want to scale. This is working. I'm still not making enough cash flow to pay a property management. 16 doors is not enough.
Yeah.
Not enough to start paying trouble calls. So like I say, I was a plumber. I was the electrician. I was,
literally whatever you had to do to make sure that the place
if I had a good week doing DirecTV, I was able to pay someone to go paint an apartment and stuff like that. And came to you guys, took action, learned how to kind of scale, build systems in your business, and I start closing more deals. I start buying more rentals. And that gave me flexibility to hire maintenance people to work for me.
I love it, bro.
Yeah.
That's the thing, man. Like, I think a lot of people, they have this weird conception when it comes to real estate.
Yes.
They think that you started wholesaler and then you become a flipper. And then from a flipper, you become a landlord. And then from a landlord, you buy an apartment complex. And it's like, dude, I know people who started at apartment complex, became a landlord.
Yes.
Then they started to flip their first house, and then they heard about wholesaling.
Yes.
It was like absolutely like completely ass backwards. You know what I'm saying? And so like really, man, I think the premise of it is just start where you're at. And you knew exactly what it was that you wanted to do. You just executed on it in a different type of fashion. You don't have to start at wholesaling.
No.
You mentioned that at the beginning. You said everybody starts with like one house, and it's true. I started with one house, but that doesn't mean that's everybody. That's mainly what information you felt that you had access to. You read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. For you guys that may have never read that book, it's a phenomenal book. It's written by a dude named Robert, and Robert basically breaks down when he was a kid living in Hawaii. And so essentially what happened was, he has this biological father who he in the book refers to as his poor dad, and then he has his best friend's dad who's also like his mentor, aka like a second dad to him.
That's right.
That he calls his rich dad. Now his poor dad and his rich dad, both of them had things that they were invested into. One of them was invested into a job. The other one was invested into a whole bunch of businesses. One of them was broke, which was actually the rich dad who was really broke for a long time, while the other guy was pretty well off and stable, and he spent a lot of time going to school and getting degrees so that he can make a certain amount of money. And then you have this thing that happens in between, which is called the economy. So inflation keeps going up, but his income level is capped. So with this being said, they keep getting on more liabilities, which cost of living increases, makes the quote unquote poor dad kind of complacent and stuck and unfulfilled. While the rich dad, who owned all this land that all the resorts are now built on, like if you ever go to Hawaii, you get to stay in a resort. The rich dad, who was broke for a long freaking time, right? All of those random investments that he had, that he kept up with for 10, 15, 20 plus years, all of those little plots of land and businesses are worth millions of dollars now because either resorts are built on them or those businesses are now mass producing.
It's crazy.
And so one of them, again, like you have this factor, it's called the economy, right? And the economy keeps going up. Inflation keeps happening. One of them can keep up with it. The other one cannot. And that's what he talks about. So he talks about the idea of investing in assets that produce passive income that cover your liabilities versus investing in liabilities and trying to focus on the E quadrant, which if you guys ever read the Rich Dad, Poor Dad Cash Flow Quadrant book, if you are an employee, there's no stability in that.
Right.
And so that's what I want to add premise to the book because I've never talked about it on a podcast before. But that's one of the first books that I read. And it definitely gives you that perspective. Like you should become a landlord right out the gate if you have the ability to do so. But man, I mean, once you got those 16 units and then you started learning about systems and structure, let's take it back to the beginning. What was the first wholesale transaction that you did and how did that go about? Like how did you find the deal and how did you facilitate it?
I only done a few wholesale deals because when I bought the Aplex, I knew then what I wanted to do, which is basically I want assets bringing cash flow. I'm more into the rentals than wholesale.
Gotcha.
You know, I've done a few deals, but for me, it's been since I read the book is I want money to work for me. I don't want to work for money. So, you know, this is 4 years later than I came right here. I got over 100 doors and it brings me enough cash flow where I can do whatever I want to with my family, that's the goal. I want money to work for me because I want to spend time with my family. A lot of people in business, they get to when they're 60 or 70 years old and say, okay, it's time to enjoy. Well, I want to enjoy my kids right now that they're in my house. I got 3 beautiful girls. So I want to take vacations with them. Last year, we were so blessed. We went to 3 vacations.
That's beautiful.
Because money works for you. And now when you have a good team like we do, I got 2 amazing partners. We have systems where we're buying these houses. We have an amazing operations manager. He takes care of all the flipping side, what needs to be done. So we're flipping houses and selling them, and I don't even have to go to those houses. So that's the key in business. When the business is still running, even if you're not there. And that's what we wanted to build, and that's what we're standing right now, right here with you, that I want to share, because it's possible. You know, I don't have an education here. Man, I got an accent. So I thought that was going to hurt me in business. Like, I was afraid talking to people because my accent. I said, what if they don't understand me? But you know what? My accent, which I thought it was my liability, became a great asset. Sometimes people want to know, man, where are you from? You know, you look like a white guy, but you're Hispanic. What's the deal with you? And open doors to conversations. And I can tell my story. Man, I was raised dirt poor in Costa Rica. I came with nothing here. And I don't have education here in America. And we're on the greatest nation. This is the #1 economy in the world. So when you know what to do, you can make a great living here. And
it's true, too,
it's amazing, man. You just got to put the work. Go back to the first point. Go to people that can teach you because they already been there. So it's going to cut your time in half or more. And once you do that, it's just going to happen. It's a matter of consistency, which is crazy. We didn't know I was going to say this. See this book right here, The Compound Effect? Everybody say Rich Dad Poor Dad, #1 book. I was telling Jack, that's my #2 book.
Yep.
The principle of doing something every single day, like going to the gym, like making sales calls. Just do it every day. And you don't know when it's going to work. But you get up tomorrow and you do it again. And then go back to work tomorrow and do it again and do it again. It's going to work. It's just like money in the bank. It's going to keep earning more money. It's the same thing with your work ethic. If you just get up and do the things that you know you're supposed to do every single day, you will be successful. There's just no question about that. Yep. You will make it.
It's the law of consistency.
100%.
And it teaches you mental fortitude. Now, I'm not going to lie. You can do something for a very long time without seeing any results.
Yes.
But you don't know how much further you're moving the needle.
Yes.
Because you're not getting those results immediately, but you stay the course. You know, there's this thing, right? It's hard to beat it's a saying. It says it's hard to beat a man who doesn't know how to quit. And it's true. It means that the person who can just figure out that if they do something consistency for a long period of time without the idea of failure, with true purpose and faith. There's this book that I read, and it's similar to the compound effect. It's called Think and Grow Rich, right?
Another book.
There's this guy, he sold everything that he had and burned bridges to go and say to Thomas Edison, who at the time was already, if you adjust his income to inflation, a multi-billionaire, right? Because, I mean, this dude was just extravagant with the way that he would employ people and also expand his business. And so the guy says, Thomas, I didn't come here to work for you. I came here to work with you.
There you go.
And Thomas was like, well, you can't just work with me, man. I don't know what you have to bring to the table. And he's like, you're not going to know, but you will know one day. I'll start wherever you put me, and I'll work for free if I have to show you my value. And so Thomas says, all right, we're going to put you in the lowest of the low. This guy worked his way up for like 20 years before an opportunity presented itself. 20 years of doing something every single day, working his way up this small little ladder. Thomas Edison invents something amazing that needs to be mass distributed. That guy steps up, and I'm going to be that guy to do it. Next thing you know, they now own a very large business together, multi-billion-dollar organization. And that guy, he said that he was going to do that, and he set out to do it, and he did it. And so sometimes, man, you have to create the law in your mind.
That's right.
And that law right there is, I'm going to see this through. I'm going to be successful at it. There's no failure that exists in my brain. I know that if I do this consistently over a period of time, that I will move the needle until it gets to where I need it to get. So, man, I mean, success is a slow, painful journey, bro.
Yes, sir.
But too many people try to fall in love with the outcome. They overestimate what they can do in 1 year, and they underestimate what they can do in 2 to 3 decades. And they haven't even been alive that long to experience that shit. It takes time. I fucked up a lot of times in business, Pablo. I've lost millions of dollars. I still, to today, lose millions of dollars. Literally, bro, I just got done investing in $300,000 worth of paper plates and napkins from Walmart. I flip paper plates and napkins through my warehouse. I know that sounds crazy. I got to show you the warehouse.
Makes money.
We can. It makes a lot of money.
That's right.
And people overpay for that stuff in different parts of the United States, right? So we buy it at wholesale, and then I sell it at bulk. We have a reseller contract with Walmart to redistribute products through our warehouse. So the reason why I'm telling you this is because one of the trucks had gotten to a very bad accident, and all of the, I'd say it's about $100,000 to $200,000 worth of items that we had purchased from the manufacturer, from Walmart wholesaler, was destroyed.
My goodness.
Completely destroyed. The whole ass of the truck fell off of a cliff. So I'm talking, it rolled down like at least 50, 60 feet before exploding at the bottom, right? The guy's alive. It was just the ass of the truck. But, you know, without the trailer and all the goods in the trailer, how am I supposed to fulfill all of these orders, right? It's $100,000 problem. And so, you know, you got to think about this for a second. Reason why I'm telling you all this is because I didn't start at that. I started with one store.
There you go.
And then I scaled it up. Then I made it presentable. That $100,000 problem doesn't even move the needle at all. I still have the overhead and infrastructure to be able to cover that kind of loss. And so you just got to ask yourself, are you willing to pay at a higher level? Because if you play at a higher level, there comes with higher level problems. Solve higher level problems, you make higher levels of money. And that's just the way of the game, you know? Dude, but going into your journey, man, I'd say now, like with 100 doors, right? What is the biggest problem that you have with the 100 doors?
Well, and like I said, I'm very blessed because 100 doors just mine. I got more rentals with my partners.
Wow.
So the 100 doors are just kind of like what I built before I got into this partnership.
Yeah.
So with my partners, now they're the guys that I'm flipping, and of the flipping, we're keeping rentals. So right now, in the last 12 months, we bought about 60 rentals, me and my 2 partners, and we have a goal that we're going to continue flipping, and we want to have about 400 doors in the next 8 to 10 years, which that's going to pass to our kids. We're having fun in the meantime. We're flipping, we're making money, but we have a structure right now. Like if we don't change anything today, we'll get to those 400 doors in about 8 to 10 years.
Beautiful.
So that's the beauty of business. I believe in business. You first have to be content on where you are. Don't compare to other business owners. Man, I love, you're so blessed. You're doing so many things. That is your journey. I want to learn from you, but I don't necessarily want to do everything you do, right?
Of course.
Because our lives are different. And I think a lot of business owners, they get into that. I want to do what he's doing. Oh, okay. But I want to do that too. we have a vision. There's a book called Your Next 5 Moves.
I love that book.
You need to know what you want. And I already have a plan for my next 20 years, which is enjoy my kids. I love to travel. I want to spend the winter in Costa Rica. I don't like cold weather. I'm Hispanic. I want to be out of here in February. I love my relationship with my partners. We want to grow our portfolio and keep making money doing this. But I'm not just going to be a slave for my work. I mean, I want to keep adding systems so I have the freedom to enjoy my family. And this is the reason why. We did a deal last year. We bought an RV park. Okay? So we kind of got the contract done. This story kind of changed and confirm about how important it is to have a vision. So I go there. We agree with the lady. She's 70 years old. Property is worth 2.2 million. Okay, RV park. So I'm excited. She's excited, and I was with my partner Austin, and we kind of start just kind of walking out of the property. I'm about to get in my truck, and she kind of looked at me and he said, "Pablo, can I give you an advice?" I say, "Sure." I said, "Don't work too hard. Or at least spend time with the people you love." He said, "I'm 70 years old. I got over $2 million that I'm going to make with you guys. I'm old. I regret spending the last 20 years of my life in this RV park. Look what I'm worth right now." And she just kind of got in my face and said, "Look, it's not worth it. I'm too old to enjoy this money. I wish I would enjoy the last 20 years when I was healthy. I can't travel right now." Like her husband was older. Her husband's like 70 years old.
Wow.
So who's going to enjoy that money? So everybody says, well, that's good. We have to have a legacy passing on to your kids. I agree with that. But I think legacy is more than what you leave behind. The legacy is the moments you spend with your family so you can teach your kids how to do life. Because how many deals that you do, like you buy 2, 3, or 4 rentals from a guy and he just sell them to do because the family doesn't want to do anything with it.
Yeah.
A lot, right?
There's a lot.
And what the reason is the kids don't know how good real estate is as far as cash flow and tax benefits, or the kids hate real estate because they never saw their dad or their mom.
Powerful.
So you have to have a balance. So my kids, we joke in my house, and they kind of fight like, okay, I'm going to get this property. I'm going to get this property. And we kind of have a system, and we got on vacation, and we talk about business. We talk about real estate. My daughter, the oldest, the one is 12, she already reached out for that. And kind of we sit down and talk every chapter. Now my second one, Emma, is going to do it. Legacy is teaching your kids in the process of your business. They don't have to take over. Maybe they're called to be something else. Maybe they're called to be a teacher or a doctor, but also you giving the chance to show them that you love what you did, number one. But even if you love your business, they'll know that they were number one, which is their priority. They're always going to be my number one. I put God first. God is always first. And then you got family. And then you can put business or you can put fitness. You do that too, right?
Of course.
I put business, and then fitness is to me kind of like the same. You gotta love the process, and you have to do in a way that your family is excited for you. They're so excited that I'm here right now. Why? Because I'm always with them. We always have lunch. You know, I got flexibility. I can pick them out for school. I can do all those things right now, so they love what I do. So guess what? By default, they're going to end up doing what I do because they see the benefits, but they love the process. You have to enjoy the process and know that is your journey.
Yep.
Don't compare with somebody else.
It's true, man. It's true. You know, there's this thing that I learned, and I'll share it with you, right? It's called faith, family, fitness, and finance, right? And it's funny because they're in that order specifically. Faith is what you have the connection with your spirit. You have the connection with God. You have the connection in any way, right? And then you have family right next to it. And family is like who's around you at consistent basis. Like who are the people that you're pouring into that you love, right? Family doesn't always have to be blood either. It could be people that you just know that you enjoy yourself with. Because I know tons of people that might not have the luxury of having an amazing family, right? So they have 100%. To find family. And so sometimes we create it. You know, you had to create your own family and your own way of loving them, right? And so family's nurturing that aspect. Then you have fitness, and fitness isn't just going to the gym. It's fitting hard things in your life until they become easy again. That's what it is. And so like a lot of people think you have to go to the gym to do this. Bro, you don't have to be at the gym to physically be capable of doing things. I have a whole gym I built out in my fucking office because that's how much I want to prioritize my health. Then you have finance. Finance is your capability to provide and make money, the tool to give you the freedom to experience the other three. My mentor told me this, man. Imagine all four are on your hand right now like this, right? I take family and I drag my pinky down with all my strength. What's happening to the rest of my fingers?
There you go.
All of them are going to get dragged down too. And so to live the best quality of life, all four have to be in alignment with each other. And once you have all four in alignment, it's a shortcut to the top, dude, because now you're fulfilled in family. Now you're blessed with a lot of money coming in. You have an amazing relationship with your creator or your spirit or your God or whatever energy, universe, whatever you believe in. And you're also able to be physically capable to be present because those things that used to be hard, they're no longer hard anymore.
There you go.
You see what I'm saying? And so like those four things, my mentor told me that because he told me I was lacking in all four. And that's why I wasn't where I wanted to be.
Yes.
You know, my mentor is a 9-figure earner. He does like 600 million a year in El Paso. And I spent big money to be in this man's presence. I was afraid to do it and I did it. And I can't say I did it. My business partner took our card and did it. I didn't approve of this. And so we go to El Paso and I'm over there meeting this dude that I never met before in my whole life, tooting my own horn because I just didn't feel like this guy has anything that I couldn't have myself, you know? And then like he legit humbled me and said, Q, it's not about having what I have. It's about being able to create it in your own way.
That's amazing.
And so like when he told me that, it was just like, dude, you keep trying to compare yourself to me. You keep trying to flex on me. You keep trying to prove yourself to me. Who are you trying to prove this to, man? Because I already believe everything that you're saying.
There you go.
So why are you telling me those things? I had the biggest head, the biggest ego.
Yes.
And it was holding me back, you know? But dude, he humbled me. He's like, you look at yourself, man. Let's just be real for a second. You know, when was the last time you really spent time with your family?
There you go.
When was the last time you went to church?
There you go.
When was the last time you really paid attention to your business? Because if you were, we wouldn't be in this room together right now, right? And he's like, not only that, Q, but look at yourself, man. You know, you're telling me that you're dedicated. You're telling me that you're strong. You're telling me that you're doing X, Y, Z, but you're unhealthy. It's like, it's clear as day. Anybody sees you, you're unhealthy. And when he told me that, I was just like, fuck, man. He's right. Like, I'm upside down in my books. I'm not qualified to mentor anybody. I had no physical capabilities. I couldn't even do a squat. I couldn't even squat the bar. I couldn't even squat the bar, you know? So it was like, I had no relationship with God either. I went to work on those things over the last 4 years because that's how long it's been since I've met him. Yes. He's speaking at my event next month in March 17th through the 18th. Guys, make sure y'all go to AW Growth event and grab your tickets because it's going to be phenomenal. But my mentor is one of our speakers. And mind you, I've cleared well over 8 figures now.
That's awesome.
And in that short period of time, I've stopped drinking alcohol. I've lost almost 150 pounds. I've done amazing things with amazing people, man. But it all started with me investing in myself and getting my mind corrected. You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome.
People are going to meet you at different stages of your life. So
Yes.
why not figure out a way to make them meet you at your best stage?
There you go.
Not the one where you're underperforming. Because even when I met you, bro, I was not at my best stage. And the fact that whatever I was able to do for you,
You
help
have the
build
knowledge.
something, I may have, yeah.
Sometimes we have the knowledge, we just don't apply it to our lives. Because you told me what I had to do and it worked.
Yeah.
So you gotta, like I say, I'm very thankful for everything you taught me. It was amazing.
I wanted to go into the mentorship aspect, man. Like, first off, when we first met, like, were you ready and willing to pay for coaching? And if so, why? And what is what did you gain from doing that?
Well, you know, it's very simple. If you want to get, number one, if you want to take somebody's time that is successful or is doing the right thing, don't come back and say, let me pick your brain. No, don't do that. You know, be respectful with somebody's time. So I remember you said something on Facebook and I just messaged and I talked to one of your assistants and she's like, well, he's doing something right now when you pay X amount of dollar and you get some coaching calls and you get to come to the office. And I just look at the amount. At that time, it was maybe not something that I had sitting in my account. I had it, but like I say, I was just in the beginning on my rentals, and I had the money, but I kind of thought for a second, maybe I can just keep listening for the free content, you know, like internet, like everybody does. Let's wait a little more. And then I just said, no, I'm going to do it. And I paid for it, and I came to the office, and we did the calls, And look, man, 4 years later, look what I'm saying. I'm saying to you, I'm sharing my story. You went through all up and down. You didn't know the impact that you had on me. So that's how life works, you know.
It's crazy.
You knew you say to me the right things, and inspire me to take action, and inspire me to believe in coaching. And at this point, I'm gonna continue paying to keep growing in myself. On me, you never stop learning.
Yeah.
You know, never. So I don't care at the level. Even when me and Austin and Greg get to the 400 doors, I'm still gonna continue going to those guys to learn more. Like I said, not that I want to be and have what they have, but I want to learn from them. You know, they're doing something that is so cool. I want to know what it takes. I know how do they do it, and maybe one part of the system can apply to my business. It doesn't mean that it's going to produce the same thing, but it can make my business better. You know, take advice for someone that you're willing to change chairs. You know, I don't want to go as an advice, not being disrespectful for someone that doesn't have what we have, because you know what I'm saying. I want to always upgrade my advice, if it makes sense. You know,
I love that. Honestly, bro, it's just been phenomenal to see you grow into the business.
Thank you.
And all the amazing things that you're doing.
Thank you.
You'll probably be at over 1,000 doors within the next 5 years.
I appreciate it. God is good, man. You know, and He continue opening doors. And I do want to share one more thing.
Of course.
I think when you are a business owner, entrepreneur, there's always something in us when it's time to give something back. You know, we have an amazing church back home, and we started in Costa Rica. We adopt this orphanage. So our goal is to invest in the kids in Costa Rica. So now there's an orphanage in Costa Rica. They're getting free English classes every Saturday. So our mission is to be able to do that in every orphanage in Costa Rica, to provide for those kids. So when they come out of the orphanage at the age of 18, they can speak the language. If you speak English, you can get a good job anywhere in Costa Rica. You can work for, you know, a VA or other companies. So my advice, I guess, I just want to share with all the successful people that you have in your network and that listen to this show. The money's good. Enjoy your family. Do all that. But find something that breaks you, something that makes you cry, and invest on that, because that's the definition of purpose. At the end of the day, my purpose was not really to make all this money. I really believe my purpose is to reach out and help the kids in Costa Rica. That's my ultimate goal. That's part of my purpose.
I love it, bro. We have similar purpose, man. And it's awesome to see you doing those things. Guys, I'm going to put all of Pablo's social media links in the comments section below. I appreciate you coming through, bro.
Awesome, brother.
On the podcast,
I'm excited, man. Thank you.
Guys, y'all make sure that you subscribe, tune into our other episodes, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.
Later.